I am Bookface, and today we're talking about one of my favorite animals, being both incredibly cool and absolutely horrifying. That being the Komodo dragon, which is an incredibly unique animal, so much so that it honestly brings to mind weird sci-fi monsters. Komodo dragon is a form of monitor lizard from Indonesia, specifically the islands of Rinca, Flores, Gili Motang, and of course, Komodo. The scientific name, Varanus komodoensis. The species was first recorded by European scientists in 1910, before which it was referred to as a land crocodile, along with other names from native people, including Ora, Buaya Darat, and Biawak Raksasa. And it is the largest living form of lizard, growing up to 10 feet in length and weighing up to 150 pounds. However, it's evolved from the extinct Megalania, which was even bigger, reaching over 20 feet in length. It has 60 serrated teeth, measuring an inch in length, that are frequently replaced. The tail as long as its body, a long yellowish forked tongue, and its skin is covered in bony scales called osteoderms. These scales increase in amount and complexity, having various different patterns. However, these scales are not present in younger Komodo dragons. Komodo dragon only has a single ear bone, which limits the ability for the Komodo dragon to hear, and because of this, they were formerly believed to be deaf. Despite the Komodo dragon's hearing being poor, however, they have incredibly good vision, being able to see up to 980 feet into the distance. Yes, I had to double check that number because I was like, that doesn't seem right. But no, apparently they can see almost 1,000 feet forward. They can see colors, but have difficulty seeing stationary objects and have very poor night vision.
Keep absolutely still. Its vision is based on movement.
The Komodo dragon uses its flicking tongue for its sense of smell, which allows it to smell food for several miles depending on winds, which is also assisted by the Komodo dragon moving its head back and forth. Just kind of looking around like, where's my food? Komodo dragon can live up to 30 years, and they largely eat Timor deer and various forms of carrion. They, of course, occasionally attack humans. They attack their prey and kill them by causing them to bleed out from large lacerations, often knocking down the prey using its massive tail. And at one point, it was believed that the Komodo dragon had large amounts of bacteria in the mouth, which it used to make its bite more deadly. However, it is now known that they instead do actually have venom, which works as an anticoagulant, which causes victims' blood to actually thin, causing them to bleed out faster. I think I used the right word there, but I'm not sure. Komodo dragon will typically eat its prey in large chunks, but for smaller prey, may use their flexible jaws, large amounts of saliva, and extendable stomach to swallow their prey whole. Also, by the way, small prey can include entire goats. It can take 15 to 20 minutes to swallow its prey, and may ram the prey into a tree to push it down its throat. So here's the thing. I don't have any creative joke or reference to use here. I just have to say that is an absolutely hilarious image. It just makes me imagine if a human did that with just somebody shoving a big old hamburger in their mouth, just slamming their face onto a table repeatedly, just bam, bam, bam. After swallowing the prey whole, it'll cough up any bones, horns, hair, and other stuff that can't be digested, much like, an owl pellet. And because of all these factors, the Komodo dragon can eat up to 80% of its own body weight in a single meal. And sometimes, they only need 12 meals in an entire year due to their low metabolism. Could you imagine only having to eat once a month? After these large meals, the Komodo dragon will bask in the sun to speed up its digestion. Because, with the slow metabolism and how much they can eat in a single sitting, the meat can actually start to spoil in their stomach. Komodo dragons tend to live in hot and dry environments, and typically are active during the day like most reptiles. And they can run up to 12 miles per hour and can lunge up to 15 feet. And they sometimes stand on their back legs and support themselves with their tail if the prey is out of reach. They rest in large burrows in the ground used to shield them from the sun during the day and conserve heat during the night. You can recognize their dens because they have droppings all around them, and large cleared out areas of vegetation, and they are typically placed strategically to ambush deer. They mate between the months of May and August and lay eggs in September. They bury up to 20 eggs in nesting holes they dig and leave them to incubate for 7 to 8 months. These babies take 8 to 9 years to fully mature and hide in trees until then to avoid predators, including other Komodo dragons who will eat these babies. As it gets older though, they'll climb less and less since they weigh so much and because their claws are primarily used as weapons. So it doesn't say how big they get before they have to get out of the tree, but you'd have to imagine they can at least get a little bigger before they're forced out of the tree. Which means you could have maybe not a 10-foot Komodo dragon, but maybe like a 5 or 6 foot giant lizard just in a tree dropping from the sky on top of you. I think that is awful. However, despite all this being known about how Komodo dragons mate, there are instances of a Komodo dragon in captivity laying eggs without a mate in a process known as parthenogenesis. With one instance, the Komodo dragon laying 11 eggs with 7 of them hatching, all of them being male. This is essentially a process used to repopulate should too many Komodo dragons die. Like, obviously it has its issues with inbreeding.
You shall be named Alabama.
But that's a pretty cool adaptation. That's a real life finds a way kind of situation right there. Yet another way the events of Jurassic Park could have taken place. And finally, due to how, quite simply, incredibly cool the Komodo dragon is, they are very common in zoos. And once in captivity, they actually become surprisingly docile and even play with things, which isn't really common for reptiles since reptiles have pretty small, simple brains that say eat food and other such things. However, they can still be territorial to people they don't recognize and can be incredibly dangerous, which I don't think anyone would doubt. And there you have some information on a very interesting, kind of terrifying lizard. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. Also, if you have any other zoology topics you'd want me to cover, please let me know. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!